Nice to have you here in the studio. Hello again. This is me, your old friend Chuck. Listen, I'm so glad you tuned in. You know, I just love to see you. My girl from Chicago here? Good. I'm going to do a white barn, and everybody's always asking me, how do you make a white building white on white paper? Well, let's see if we can't help you with that. I'm going to take a little yellow ochre, and I'm going to dirty it down or neutralize it with a little bit of ultramarine blue, just a skosh, and I'm going to make a gray out of it, maybe a little bit more than that. I'm going to make a neutral out of it, or a gray on the cool side, okay? And here's where we're going. We're going up here. Follow me now. I'm using a muslin brush. These are muslins, and put out by Tony Van Hassett. And I've used this one for I don't know how long. And it wears very well. I can do anything with them. You've seen me use them in workshops and other films, and I just learned how to use them, and I enjoy the way they work for me. And in a minute, you're going to just see everything kind of pop out of here. And my idea is to make sure that this looks white. That's what my English teacher, Mrs. McDermott, said. She'd say, white. It's white. It's not white, it's white. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I understand. And then she would proceed to tell me why I didn't understand. So, you know, I got used to that. That's okay. But I'm just passing along to you. It's white, and that's it. See, that's it. I like that. I'm going to take and dry the brush off, pick up the little places where it's going to. Now I'm going to show you how to bring the barn out. Let's call this. This will be springtime. Is that all right? I'm going to be wiping this down a little bit, so I'm going to keep the tissue in my hand, and I'm going to wipe this down. So I'm going to add sap green and a little bit of blue, and that gives me a cool blue. Okay. And right away, I've got too much doggone water in that pigment, so I'm taking some of the water out, and that's something I can't teach you. You have to learn that. You just have to learn how much water to use, and you do that by getting my 20-minute drill and practicing. Practice. Listen, dancers practice, and ball players practice, and musicians practice. And I can never figure out why painters don't practice. You know, I just couldn't figure it out. Well, basically we're lazy. We want to sit down and come out with a painting because we don't have a lot of time. But when you get retired or you go into this stuff and you have the time, let's go ahead and practice. So get my 20-minute drill, and it'll show you how to handle the brush and what to look for and all that kind of thing. Now I'm just putting this back. This is just a background in here. And my board is tilt. I like to tilt it. I like to tilt it because I like the paint to run, because it does so many good things. See, it does a lot of good things when it runs like that. You see it all dripping down here? Well, I'm going to be careful of that in just a minute. See the nice granulation I have in there? I like that. That's cool. That is way cool. Notice the big strokes I get, and no definition, just the reference. The green tells me something. What does the green tell you? tells me foliage, it tells me vegetation. There's only two things we paint, and that's biological properties and geometric properties. Isn't that true? Well, this is both in one painting. Okay, now I'm daubing the bottom so I can pick up the excess water, and if it drips down, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go and have some fun with it. Now we're going to go to a little heavier pigment. I'm going to use a little purple, and I'm going to put a kind of a dark roof on this. On this little dormer, okay? And I'm putting a dark roof. Well, I like the dark roof. I'm not going to make it square. I'm just going to, if it's out of kilter, it's out of kilter. That's all. Makes it look better. It's more interesting that way. Okay? All right. What's this? Bring that over to about there. Then we've added water to it. Taking some of the water out. Now I got a halfway dry brush. Push it down. And that's it. That's the roof on the dormer anyway. Now we're going to go and put just a little tad of that underneath this. This is up here where the eaves meet. And again, wet the brush, go back in. I'm going to have some warm dripping in there, and I'm going to have a little bit of dark in there. See, a little bit of purple. Well, it gives it a little color, doesn't it? I like this. I already like what I'm doing. I already like it. Can you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? I already like it. It's just, oh, there's a little bit more warm. Now, purple and yellow, does that go together or what? Whew, I'm telling you. Cools and warms, cools and warms, cools and warms, darks and lights, cools and warms, all the time, all the time. Darks, lights, cools, warms. Okay, let's stop the messing around now. I'm going to go to a different tool. I could use the same one, but I don't want you to try that right now. I want you to go to a different tool, okay? Right here, I don't want that to drip, so I want to take that out of there, take that out of there, take that out of there. And like I say, if it's going to drip, it would be all right. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to do anything back in there. I don't think so. I'm going to add a little blue to this. And just a precious little water. And I splayed the brush. I splayed it to make that round flat. And I'm doing that because I want that window in the barn, but that window up in the barn is too strong. So I'm going to daub it out. And I'll go back in there again, okay? I don't like that either. I didn't have to put that. See, I've already put too much in there. Didn't have to. So I'll try to take that out of there. And if it works, fine. If it don't work, it don't work. Here we can just take a little bit of this green, put it over that, just bring something looks like a tree up there. That'll help that. There we go. That's it. Too much identification, too much. That's it. Okay, I like it. I like it. I'll leave it there. Here again, you see one hand out of the other? It's an old signwriter's trick. That's one window of the barn. Okay. And I know people want to use a certain color. They want to get into Davies gray and Payne's gray and all that, which is fine. Go ahead. And that just tells me there's a big door there. And these here would probably run up and down. Well, this would be open. We're going to open the door right here. Here's where we'll open the door, right there. That door will be just a little ways open to let the farmer in. The farmer's son went home early, and he left the door open for the father to get in there. Son went home early because there's probably a ball game on, so son went home. Either that or he and his father had an argument or something. I like that. I like that. I don't think I need any more anything to tie it down, other than some maybe a little dark under here, under this, to tie it down, because the barn isn't going to sit on the top of the grass. It's going to sit in the ground. See? And the same with over here. Okay, and there's the doorway. Okay. Now, I'm liking what's going on here. All right. There's some of that wild red. These are wild red geraniums that grow. Well, they're not really geraniums. They're just stuff that grows in that woods. Just stuff, you know. Maybe that's too much, so we just wipe some of that out. But who knows? Could be a red gizmo there. It could be anything there. Now let's put some grasses in there. A little bit of green, just a little bit of something to break up all that yellow. Could be flat, could be anything. I don't know if I like that, but you see, these are the time. This is the time to try these things. Try them. You don't like them, take them out of there. Just soften them, take them out. Take that out of there. It'll leave a little something, but that's all right. Ain't gonna hurt it. And who knows? You might like it. It might teach you something. Okay. So we can put a chimney over that side. We can put trees in it. We can put anything we want in the doggone thing that belongs to us, and maybe something you've seen on your way to work or on your way someplace. I know that's where I get a lot of these things from. I travel, and when I travel, I love to stop and get something. Take a photo of it or whatever it is I got to do. Okay? And there's a white barn. See that? Is that all right? Do you guys buy that? Huh? Sure. Could we have done it better? Certainly. No problem. But that's the idea. Just soften, neutralize some paint, put some water in it, let it run, and that gives you the impression of a white bond. All right? Thank you. I'll see you next trip. I hope you're with me. Bye.